Thank you. Great to be here in the birthplace, or let's say first place where cultured meat is legal, Singapore. So I'm going to tell what we do. I'm going to tell a little bit the future of a cell-based meat and how we see it. And I'm going to go through some of the challenges that are associated with scalable tissue engineering, which is cultured meat. The challenges that have been solved, the challenges we are solving, and the challenges that are yet to remain to be solved. First of all, let's talk about a little bit about the cultured meat. So those of you who don't know, current meat production is not sustainable. So it's responsible for massive land and water use. Also, a lot of CO2 emissions come from that industry. And the craziest fact actually for me was the use of antibiotics. So the 70% of the antibiotics produced worldwide are used in animal agriculture. So this is clearly, when we take into account the growing population and urbanization, this is not a sustainable way how to move forward. So let's think how we feed the people in 20 years, in 100 years. So we take advantage of technology and science advancements. So cell-based meat is a means how to grow a meat not inside an animal, but in a bioreactor. Science and technology have led us to the point where we now have a source code how to grow meat. And also the different technological elements, the prices of those technological elements has been dropped down. So actually it starts to make already sense to grow cells for food, and this is what cell-based meat is all about. The amazing thing about cultured meat is that it's really versatile. I mean, it uses way less land. You can set a production into the basement of an apartment building, under the sand. You can grow fish in desert. You can grow beef in mountains. So it really opens up new opportunities. Also, massive freshwater use reduction, and also less CO2 emissions as well from that technology. I saw, because our booth is right next to it, that this graph, I think, has been shown at least 2 times today. So I'm going to still show that it's a really good source. It is estimated that the share of a cultured meat is going to rise rapidly. And the main reason behind it is that it really can mimic every aspect of a animal-based meat. So the taste, the texture, the mouthfeel, the nutritional value, and at some point also the price. So the scalability of a cultured meat is the biggest challenge that the whole industry is solving at the moment. There are critical elements that are associated to grow meat. So if we take on a high level, look at the process, how the cell-based meat is made, this is really simplified version. There are actually different cell lines that are being used, but on a high level. We have the cells, we take a biopsy from an animal, so the animal goes freely running along. Then we isolate the cells we want to grow, and then we need to expand the biomass. This is usually done in a stir-tank bioreactor, but other bioreactors can be used as well. In that phase, we should take advantage of the microcarriers to increase the biomass quantity and also to have more, let's say, the higher cell density per milliliter. So these materials are really useful. These materials, all of them, are used already in pharma industry today. So the next stage, either when you go with unstructured products, you will take your cells, you mix it with some plant-based structuring additives, and you have your hybrid product. These first products will be hybrid products, which we see already today on Singaporean market. But why stop there? I mean, we didn't develop this amazing technology just so we can have slightly better sausages, slightly more sustainable sausages. Actually, the holy grail of meat alternatives is a cell-cultured steak or a fish fillet or structured products. This is something we can't achieve today with plant-based technologies. So therefore, this cell culture technologies have really potential to really have a great product around structured meats. And for that, we need scaffolds. So this is what we do. We do also microcarriers, but scaffolds as well. So the scaffolds are there to mimic the extracellular matrix. So those of you who don't know, all of the tissues consist of cells and the binding stuff between the cells, which is extracellular matrix. And in industrial tissue engineering in cell cultured meat, we need to mimic that structure, right? And our nanofibers do that work really well. Now, this is what we do. Yeah, we do scaffolds and microcarriers. It all comes down to why, okay, let's ask a question. Why this hasn't been done before? Cell culture has been done for hundreds of years. Not hundreds of years, sorry, decades for pharma industry. And it would be easy to think that let's just take the same technologies and just scale them up. Turns out your meat will be very expensive. So what is needed in order to make cultured meat a reality is we need novel technologies, we need to cut some corners that are specific to food industry, and we need to come up with novel technologies to really reduce the cost. And this is something we have done around scaffolding. Now the current scaffolds on the market, if we take tissue engineering and pharma industry scaffolds, are really expensive, like thousands of euros per kilogram. Doesn't make sense to use in cultured meat. So what we did, we solved the scalability of nanofibers around 5 years ago because of we were solving our own problem. But understood that actually these materials are applicable in other industries as well, in tissue engineering, in cell culture, in cultured meat. And now today we have developed even the materials around that, so fully plant-based, edible materials that have a low cost, but with the cells they perform like these expensive scaffolds that are used in pharma industry. So performance-wise, I mentioned we need to mimic the structure of extracellular matrix, and you can see that our nanofibers do that work really well, providing a 3D network, this more chaotic environment for the cells, compared to other nanofibers that are being considered in this market. We see a cell migration into the material, resulting in a 3D culture, which is not possible with the HaloSpun nanofibers, which are produced with the old technology. So a good example here is that meat is 3D, right? Meat is not just one layer of cells. That's why what we need to mimic that in our cultured meat products as well. So you can see quite nicely, this picture here is a cell image taken from a top, and these are cross sections. And you can see that the cells are not staying only on the surface, but also migrating deeper into the material. This is, on its own, unprecedented with hard scaffolds. This hasn't been achieved before, but we need these kind of innovations in order to make scalable tissue engineering a reality and to make a cultured meat a reality. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, we have a booth there, so feel free to, look me up and let's have a chat. Thank you.